Huh. Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. You know, Friday's episode, the beginning of this episode, and all week I kept sitting there saying to myself, Jack, Jack the jackass, what are you doing? Why are you doing this for? Why are you sitting there gassing this woman's head up? Why are you sitting there trying to get her all revved up or whatever? Like, yeah, you should go, you should start war, you should do this, da 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 da, right? And I'm like, bro, you're so out of pocket, right? And I kept calling him Jack the Jackass. Well, mm, oof, hold on, where's my water? Hold on. Well, guess somebody was right. Somebody was wrong. Yeah, I was the wrong one here. Okay, I was the wrong one in the sense. Because once you saw the end, you were just like, I was just like, oh, I guess I misread that situation. So the thing about Jack is that he is a strategist, right? And in a sense, and he did even sit there and say, Carly was going to do physical assault. That was a step too far. And I wanna explain something for a hot minute, okay? Because I've seen so many people sit there and say, I wish he would have smacked her. So here's the thing when you share kids, right? They always sit there and say, at the very least, 1 second, at the very least, you should be civil. Can't be nice or whatever, you should be civil. Because when you, whatever party it is, when you do something to the other party, it affects the kids, right? And, I always sit there and say a lot of times, when people start voicing some of this stuff, they're thinking with their emotions, right? Like I've seen somebody maybe a couple months ago, somebody was like, I think Michael should sit there and take everything away from Willow. How do you think that's going to affect the kids? How do you think that that's going to affect the kids? Carly assaulting, because let's be clear, that's what it is. Carly assaulting Willow. People may think it's, oh, she's just knocking some sense into her. Okay. How do you think the kids are going to react when they sit there and when they find out that grandma assaulted their mother? Think they're going to be okay with that? You think that's what the kids need? No, they don't. So it may come across as this instant gratification, but in the long run, Carly's only doing more harm, both in the custody case, if there is one, hopefully it's not, and more importantly, on the kids. That's why I was against that whole, when people were sitting there saying that, and I kept just having these looks, it wasn't just because I just want to be a dick, it was like, people think with their emotions. Now, with that being said, afterwards, Jack sits there and tells her, like, listen, Drew's going to sit there and make a mistake, trying to overcompensate, and that's going to be your chance. And after Nina leaves and everything like that, she's like, oh, you should compromise and da 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 da. Drew proposed that he takes anything happens to Willow, that he takes legal guardianship of the kids. Now, I mean, that's out of pocket on so many levels, right? And vice versa. If something happens to him, she takes legal custody of Scout. I'm like, yeah, That's yeah. That's that's a hard no. That's a hard no. And the thing is, it's not like the difference between Drew and Willow is like Willow. Besides whatever, she's not frowned upon as bad as Drew. But that's still a how to know, you know. Um, but she just agrees. She's like, nope, I'm gonna do it. And Drew's like, you wanna take some time? You want to decide? You want to think? Nope, I'm good. She's still bothered about what Carly said about the whole Nell thing, which is, out of pocket, but that's Carly just being Carly, so what else is new? Um, Kai came to the door, but, Drew didn't have time at that point. And Trina, didn't want him to do a very adamant about that because she don't want to lose another man. Let's just be very clear. Spencer, Rory, she don't want that for Kai. Now, Kai does talk to Portia. And Kyle's already like, I'm gonna do it, but then Portia's like, you don't want to do it. There's too many risks. Most of them one are paralyzed. There was only if it worked at all, and there was only three people that made it out of like dozens. Okay, well I'm gonna be number four. You so you want to sit there and think about that a little bit there, champ? Now, half of the conversation was like, oh, because of Drew and Drew and Drew, and I don't want Drew to sit there and stare him in the wrong direction. And I'm like, y'all acting like Drew's going to be the one that's performing the surgery. Stop. Just stop. Just stop. Now, there's a fine line between, somebody in my comment section was like, oh, I just always assume that, whatever Drew's intentions is, it's always bad. I'm like, okay. I'm more of a wait to see what happens, and when it happens, then I go from there. Like him sitting there trying to get, have custody of Michael's kids is just like, bro, you're the guy that came in there and screwed over your nephew. Now you want to sit there and take legal guardians of his kids? Like what? Like that's wrong on so many levels. But whatever, we just gonna move on. I'm more of a wait and kind of see person, and I just kind of go from there. But um, Ava tells Rick about the plan, and Rick is like, I don't know, because you might have gave her 24 hours or whatever to save her daughters. Now, the girls want to do a girls' night in, David's sisters or whatever. Long story short, uh, Alexis gonna pay. I'm like, Alexis, you should just sit there and commit this chick. Rick was also like, you do realize that if you do get the payout, this is going to give Christina more of an opportunity to sit there and come at you. Oh, but I'll hire security. Oh, you're high security. Okay. I mean, I'm like, I hope that money's worth it because if she actually somehow succeeds, that money is not going to do you any good. I mean, it'll do Avery some good, but it won't do you any good because, you'll be dead. But, hey, listen, she's seeing dollar signs right now. Rick is like, yo, just make sure you don't cut me out. I mean, I don't want to, it was like, I don't want you to sit there and mess up your relationship with your daughter and everything. And Rick was like, I mean, that's cool, that's nice, but you ain't cut me out. So let's just be very clear about that. That's what you're not going to do. Um, Laura tells Sonny about the proposal about letting the citizens decide if he should practically his business should be kicked out the neighborhood, pretty much. Um, and Sonny's not happy about that. But Rocco comes over, and after his debate thing, Sonny's like, "Okay, cool, let the people decide. Let the people decide." She was like, "Oh, I don't want to sit there and seem like I'm impartial or protecting you or stepping in." I'm like, "Boo, you haven't lunch with this man in a room full of people. Like, whatever." Honestly, to tell you the truth, I think her brain has been just like screwed on backwards ever since the whole Esme thing, and this is before, or even before that. Yeah, either that or Cyrus. That was also head scratcher, if I do say so myself. Um, yeah, anyway, that's about it. Yeah, I might have missed some stuff here and there, but that is the general gist of the episode. Like I said, Nina was there. She was there for a little bit, and just trying to cool down the situation. Like, I'm surprised. I mean, I know that she wants to then save her daughter and stuff like that, but you practically was about to let Carly just smack fire out of your daughter and not bother to step in or not want to whoop her ass afterwards. You know, I mean, I know she was, that's what they were planning on doing, but like, Carly took the plan too far. You went off the rails, bro. That's not how that was supposed to go. You're not supposed to be something assaulting her daughter. That's what you weren't supposed to be doing. I feel like that's about it. If I miss anything, let me know. We'll talk about it tonight, as well as the other four soap operas: Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and the Restless, and of course Beyond the Gates. That being said, I'll see you in the next video.